Hey guys, what's going on? It's Derek from Derek's Horror Stuff, and in today's video we're diving into a highly anticipated film, the 2024 follow-up to Tim Burton's 1988 cult classic, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. I just saw it, and I have some stuff to share, so let's jump into it. It's showtime! First off, this movie is a total blast. It's chock full of nostalgia, and seeing Beetlejuice back in action is every bit as fun as you'd hope. Michael Keaton reprises his role as the title character, and his performance is just as zany and entertaining as ever. For me, he's definitely the highlight of the film. Joining him are Jenna Ortega and Catherine O'Hara, who bring something special to the table. Ortega adds kind of a fresh, dynamic energy, while O'Hara's return as Delia Dietz is a delightful nod to the original. And let's not forget Bob. Yes, the Bobs are fantastic. They each bring their own unique flair to this film, and honestly, I think they're the backbone of the whole thing. We could just make a whole movie about the Bobs, and I would be happy. But let's talk about where things start to get a little bit tangled. While the performances are stellar, the plot is where the film hits a few bumps for me. There's a lot of subplots, and unfortunately, many of them don't quite land. For example, Beetlejuice's ex-wife Dolores. She was a character with what I thought was such great potential. I was excited to see what would unfold with her, but in the end the storyline just kind of felt a bit wasted to me. We watch this movie and we see Dolores causing just a whirlwind of destruction. She's destroying everything in her path to try to get to her ex-lover Beetlejuice. And in the end, it essentially goes nowhere. Now, I won't spoil it, any more than I already have, but in my opinion, it's a missed opportunity. And honestly, I just would have loved to see a major showdown clash between her and Beetlejuice. And on that note, the subplot involving Jenna Ortega and the dead boy Jeremy kind of seemed more like a distraction to me. I understand why they did it. I understand why it's in the film. But honestly, I think you could take that whole part away and it wouldn't change anything in the movie. In fact, a plot focusing more on him and Jenna Ortega, I think would actually make for a stronger narrative rather than just setting it in for a few minutes and then getting rid of it. So maybe if we had a little bit more time with them, I would have enjoyed that a little bit more. And with a runtime of only an hour and 44 minutes, I gotta say, there were some points in the movie where I got a little bit bored. It felt like things started to drag and it made the movie seem longer than it was. And again, I think that's just because it's weighed down by so many different subplots at once. It's not focusing on one continuous thing, it's trying to throw so many things out there to see what sticks. Now, one of the most notable changes in the entire film is the absence of Charles Dietz, who was played in the original by Jeffrey Jones. Now, due to legal troubles with Jeffrey Jones, Tim Burton has decided to not bring him back for the sequel. And the film handles this really well, finding a clever way to write his character out, which I thought was a smart move given the circumstances. Now, while they could have just mentioned him once and forgot about him, they made him a recurring character in the film, somehow finding more funny scenarios to put him in. However, not everything clicked for me. Winona Ryder's return as Lydia Dietz felt just a little bit off. Her character's once rebellious spirit seems to have dulled, and she's still sporting that iconic 80s haircut, which felt a bit out of place given the time that's passed. It's a small detail, but it kind of takes me out of the experience. I was honestly hoping for a big redeeming moment at the end of the film for her, one where she becomes strong and she just, overpowers everything that comes in her way and she takes control of everything, and I feel like I really didn't get that from her. Instead, I kind of felt like her character just fizzled away again, devoured by all of the subplots. But overall, Beetlejuice is a fun sequel. It brings plenty of nostalgic charm thanks to Keaton, Ortega, and O'Hara. It is weighed down by a convoluted plot and some missed opportunities in my opinion. I'd give it 3 out of 5 stars. It's definitely worth a watch if you're a fan of the original, but I would not in any way expect it to capture the magic of that original film. And honestly guys, you can't expect it to. It is a sequel. I went in with a very open mind, low expectations. And again, I enjoyed it for what it was. However, it was a bit muddy. There were things that could have been cleaned up. And I think that overall it could have been a stronger film. But it does help to capture that nostalgia that we once had. And we get to see the wonderful Beetlejuice back in action, who, by the way, doesn't have more than 17 minutes of screen time, just like the original film. And they did it that way on purpose, just to kind of keep the balance. They also use a lot of the practical effects like they did back in 1988, which is still another plus for the film. So guys, tell me, if you saw it, what did you think of Beetlejuice? Did the new elements work for you? Were you let down by the plot like I was? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, keep up to date with more of my movie reviews and other cool horror stuff. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.